Happy Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim viewers. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Mariam Longe. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Happy Eid Mubarak.
Yes,
to
definitely.
our Muslim brothers and sisters, and of course to my family, to the Lendina family in Jos, Barakat Salah, and my brother Kamal. I saw him lose so much weight in this this Ramadan. he lost weight and lost years. He looks like a teenager now. Yeah, just happy that we're able to, and then of course to my friends, the Etudayes, Nene, as well as Big Bros Mo and his wife Rashidat. We pray that God accepts, the sacrifice of our fasting. Yeah.
Fantastic. Bill, I love what you're wearing. You look amazing.
Thank
such
you.
a pink.
Yeah,
a bit of pink and black.
Thank
We
you.
put a little bit of pink on Ima's lip and eyeshadow.
And I love what you're wearing as well.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Imagine this outfit in a dress. Like,
Is that not a dress?
No, like in
a flowing dress.
all those kind of like.
I'm going to get the fabric.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm forewarning you.
That's fine. Alaja Nima, Ecuador,
Azin.
Yes, so you fasted for 30 days.
My punishment was that I had my period for 5 days. And then in the last 10 days, that Friday and Saturday, it was like I'd never fasted in my life. The fasting was on another level.
You couldn't get back to the rhythm.
It was hotter, it was tougher. I struggled and I had to do shopping, go to pick my daughter and all of that. But I'm so grateful to God for this year's Ramadan. This year, I've counted my blessings and I'm so grateful. I've been asking God for forgiveness for all the times I was complaining. Because this year, the reflection was deep and I'm so grateful for my friends, my neighbors. Gloria, Amaka, thank you. Every day, those girls were making sure that I broke my fast in style.
In a healthy way.
That's the soup today, feast tomorrow. Thank you. I'm just blessed. And my family yesterday Eid Habibi. That's the new name for Ziv now.
Habibi.
Habibi,
Arab.
Odogu
Yeah,
Parara was trending. So I used that to get some money and he got to work. I was saying to his colleague, my wife has been calling me Odogu Parara. I said, nah, Billy, no.
Now you are giving another word.
I said, the new title is Habibi.
Yeah.
I did that. It was so interesting. I'm grateful to God for everything. Eid Mubarak to all the Muslims out there. We will witness many more Ramadan to come and it will be blessing.
This is not the one we kill Ram. It's not just celebration.
No, this is
Thanks
not
for
the killing
saying
of
it.
Ram.
So
Please don't ask me from Kodun. This one we are fasted. Ileya is in 2 months, in 70 days.
All right, just check it. How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good, grateful to God. I posted about 3 weeks ago about planning to fund 40 families to become parents, and I have gotten over 1,200 comments. Like, I can't even read the comments. Somebody in their 50s, in their 40s, people that say I've been waiting for 19 years, we just need funds. We need funds. The money does not even come to me, it goes straight to Quiverful Foundation. Please. It cost about, somebody sent me a story that I couldn't afford IVF when it was 1 million naira. Now they're telling me to bring 5 million to 6 million. Where would I couldn't get 1 million. How would I get 5 million? And the only reason they don't have children is because of 5 million naira. That's the only reason. So please, check my social media page, send me a DM, funding families. We need to raise funds. It is weighing on me. And they are now entering my WhatsApp, phone calls. You have not selected. I said, please, we're still trying to get the money.
The foundation that will select.
Please, the foundation will do the selection, but I want to just raise money for them. Thank you to everyone that will support the journey. I'll be very grateful.
Fantastic. So once again, Eid Mubarak to all our family members, all my uncles, all my aunties. I'm just
You look like
happy.
our Lashodu.
Yes, I am celebrating on their behalf.
Oyetunde Lawal announced the
Yes, congratulations
she's the
SEO Disabilities.
The agency now, it's not an agency. The agency for people with disabilities, Lagos State. She was former SA to the governor on people's with disability.
Congratulations, it's a good way.
After all these years,
waiting,
that news
was a good way to end the fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic. Congratulations to the entire family.
Mr. and Mrs. Lawal.
Yes. All right, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, look at the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Level 2, electrified fence. That's terrifying. Let's get out of here.
Hey Nick fam! Remember, Nick on TVC is your one-stop for engaging children's shows like El Tigre, Paw Patrol, SpongeBob SquarePants, Kung Fu Panda, and lots more to keep the kids glued to their screens. Catch us on Mondays to Fridays at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on TVC.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Remain steadfast, Tinubu tells Nigerians. Muslims troop to Eid grounds, Sultan calls for tolerance. 2 die in Gombe stampede, Wiki leads FCT homage to Villa, and a few other stories. Let's take any story there.
Yes, I do. So Muslims in Nigeria yesterday joined the faithful across the world to mark the end of Ramadan. Eid grounds across the country attracted, I like the way it's written here, gaily dressed worshippers who turned out for the Eid al-Fitr Rakat prayers to mark the end of fasting in the holy month. President Tinubu called on Muslims to remain steadfast with the virtues of the holy month. The Sultan of Sokoto, President General of the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Saad Abubakar, urged Muslims to be tolerant. We also had the FCT minister who led the FCT delegation on a traditional Salah homage to the Villa. We also had the Vice President and the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu and the House of Rep Speaker Abbas Tajuddin were among top dignitaries at the Airport Road Eid ground in Abuja. We have the Sultan called for peace, national unity and religious tolerance. He charged Muslims to uphold the values of charity, patience and discipline, adding that they would work towards a more peaceful and prosperous Nigeria. Senate President Akpabio in a statement says that as we celebrate the end of Ramadan and mark the occasion of Eid al-Fitr, on behalf of himself, his family and constituents, he says to remember the values of compassion, kindness and generosity that define the spirit of Ramadan, and may we continue to uphold these values in our daily lives and continuously work for others, as well as other dignitaries also who sent out their Eid Mubarak messages.
Okay, so I found this very interesting story. Since the front page of the Nation was not so full in the paper, they trafficked baby gorilla to Turkey. So Nigeria and Turkey right now are working to return a smuggled baby gorilla from Turkey back to Nigeria. It was smuggled, yeah. smuggled and found at Istanbul airport in Turkey on the 22nd of December 2024. And so they've been in talks with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The acting spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has confirmed that they are talking with them to return the wildlife, because this violates the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, and also several other national and international laws on wildlife. And they released a statement, to this effect. The gorilla was reported to have been smuggled from here, and they were in transit to Bangkok, Thailand, but the flight had a routine something check in Turkey, and then they intercepted it there. They said to prevent such criminal acts.
How did he leave Nigeria?
Yes, I was with
They said they're doing the Federal Ministry of Environment and Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Service are also looking around our borders, the seaports, the airports, and to prevent and investigate the source,
of course,
of this baby gorilla and those who were involved in it to face the law. But it's just sad. This is already an endangered species, so they're almost off. I'm even unaware that we still have, but that we have, and somebody is still in the business of sending them to Bangkok.
All right, so moving on to another story. The president has urged the Federal Capital Territory Administration to ensure the rapid infrastructure developments being undertaken under the new leadership to be successful and translate to its political success of his party. He was speaking on Sunday during the Eid al-Fitr homage at the State House, Abuja. In subtle warnings in some wiki, it was quite an interesting conversation there, that his position depended on ensuring that the political dividends of his administration efforts were fully realized. According to him, he remembered when the FCT minister had come to him saying that he should take him out of the problem of this TSC, that he can do more work, do more to achieve. And he now said, okay, what exactly do you want to do if I remove you from TSC? Then he said, when he presented it, he said he now threw him his own political jab. He said, would that give me any opportunity for my party to win the election in the FCT? Because if I give you that kind of access, you know where you're coming from. Where you are, so let's be very careful. Let's not forget who's where we are. Don't forget yourself. So I said, I know where you're from, your own party or my party. This is the thing goes too much in your own favor, you will lose your job. He then said, okay, we settled that, I know. So we're just exchanging those kind of
but there's this every time I was hearing all sorts of things on social media.
About
was he the one talking there?
Well,
they say he fainted, he collapsed, he was rushed out, blah, blah.
Is it I've been out of social media for so long? I don't understand. I didn't hear.
Yesterday was a buzz.
Yeah, but
I want to take the story, very sad story of what happened in Gombe. There was a stampede at the Eid ground. They said that the DSP Buhari Abdullahi said that it was confirmed that 2 people sadly lost their life. One boy that is 4-year-old and a girl 6 months old. And the reason for the stampede was because the exit from the Eid ground was very small, and a lot of people were trying to get out. And in that trying to get out, there are 22 people hospitalized right now. The governor, of course, has commiserated. This is like after fasting for the time and just to pray. The process, Gombe, the governor said that it's important for Eid managers of the Eid grounds, make sure the exits, they have enough exits and it is open, so create order in how people exit the Eid ground to avoid things like this from happening.
Yes. And I'm not going to talk from the Eid ground people, it's from the people.
The rush, why are you rushing?
That's why it's a ground. That's why we don't pray Eid in the mosque. It's supposed to be a crowded place. And you're supposed to take your time. Even yesterday at the CBN playing ground where we usually do in Lakija, they were announcing, sit down, the imam is still preaching. Everybody don't stand up. I couldn't hear a thing. We sat down, we were forced to join the crowd. And then usually they have vendors buying things. Just go and spend some time so that you trickle out of the place little by little.
We have to go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with the people review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jammies.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jammies.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, you for that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say a recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does show dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference. The Max Breakfast kickstarts your day from the bedside.
We bring you the morning vibe and plenty of ginger to start your day right.
Join us on the Max Breakfast as we help you seize your day one step at a time. On Max Hits, we've got the ultimate playlist for you. We give you back-to-back.
And all the biggest news from the world of entertainment, only on Max Hits.
Area, waiting the apple, waiting the shop. Tune into our award-winning waiting the 102.3 Max FM.
Lagos, Nigeria, you're welcome to the Max Drive.
Whether you're there for inside motor, you're there for inside traffic, we're there for you with a massive way.
You know what it is. It's the Max House Party. King Dion.
Hold outside. You're already almost naked.
Go!
102.3 Max FM. Hit music for Lagos.
Thanks for staying with us. Now moving on to Daily Sun. Tinubu, I almost quit 2023 presidential race. Disquiet in police over marginalization of Southeast, South-South in CP posting. Uromi killings, don't attack non-indigenous. Sanusi Gumi plead. Kano sends delegation to Edo. Eid al-Fitr, Tinubu, effect urge unity, love to vulnerable, harmonious celebration. And parliamentary government, reps propose election of president from Senate, prime minister from House of Reps. Nigerian boxer collapses, dies in ring during fight. And NDLE arrests Italy-based businessman over illicit drug. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Okay, I have NDLE. They have arrested a Lekki-based businessman and proprietor of Jamilion Steakhouse, Arukojare Jamil Ebenezer, in connection with the shipment of 60 parcels of loud, which is a strong strain of cannabis, from the United States to Nigeria. They said a 43-year-old businessman was arrested by operatives of NDLE at the Bay Lounge, Admiralty Way in Lekki, where he does his illicit drug business. This happened March 24th. They said while he was expecting the delivery of his latest drug consignment was when he was arrested. So his consignment had arrived, they said, in big cartons, in a cargo in big cartons at the logistics company in Lagos on the 12th of March. So NDLE was obviously, following the trail, and it led to him. And then after his arrest, he was also taken to his Lekki home for a search during which 94 grams of same psychoactive substance, cannabis crusher, and other drug paraphernalia were recovered. They said the total weight of the drugs seized from him was 32.24 kilograms. He said he started the arrested man says the drug dealer said he started his drug business since 2017. And then there are other stories also, different people, different parts of Nigeria, women, men, who have been arrested by NDLEA, one place or the other, So well done again, NDLEA. But this is really, it's shocking, to see names of people or places that you recognize,
Being involved in something like this.
In drug business.
I have a very sad story of the Uromi killing. So 16 passengers traveling from Edo through Edo to Kano were murdered by the security outfit, supposedly a vigilante group in Uromi, in the Esan area of Edo State. But the Emir of Kano yesterday, that's the Emir Muhammad Sanusi II at the Eid ground, the Kofar Mata Eid ground in Kano, while giving his post-Eid lecture, was admonishing his people to please not to attack any non-indigenous communities in Kano State, begging them to be patient at this time and reassuring them that justice will be done. Edo State Governor also, through the Secretary to the Government, Umar Musa Ikilo, said that they have apprehended, number one, the governor have suspended the commander of the Edo State Security Corps, CP Friday Ibadan, retired. They've also immediately ordered the suspension of any illegal vigilance group operating under any guise in the state. Also, 14 people related to this supposed vigilant group who were involved in the killing of these 16 people have been apprehended, and the IJ also has deployed a special team to Edo State to fish out more people involved in the killing. So, according to them, these 16 people were traveling in a bus and they found them with machetes and assumed they were kidnappers and went on a self-help and murdered all of them. People like that by burning them alive. And so this has aggravated, of course, provoked certain reactions up north as against the south, and so they had to now be bringing, that's why the emir is also talking to calm people down. A lot of leaders in the north are also talking to calm people down, but most importantly, justice must be done. People must be arrested. People must pay the price for this murder. That's what the government is.
Yeah, I have a story of disquiet in the police over marginalization, and this time they came with the people with the complaints came with receipt. They said that the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetoku, and the Chairman of the Police Service Commission, Deputy Inspector General Hashimu Agungu, are on the spot for undermining the Police Act 2020 in deployment of commissioners of police in different state command. They said, according to the Police Act 2020, the provision is that federal character. So they quoted all of the Police Act, highlighting the codes, the numbers, that federal character should be followed, which means that each zone should produce a specific number of commissioners. That is, the northern states should produce 19 commissioners, the southwest should produce, and the southeast should produce six commissioners. But as of today, with the current number of commissioners we have, it seems to have favored a few geopolitical zones, and that is why there is a complaint coming from, there's complaints from the southeast and south. They said that the Sun brought together information that about 7 police commissioners are from southwest only, and it should have been 6, while 23 CPs are from the north, and we have very few, just about 1 police commissioner from the south. They said that the south is being marginalized, and this should be addressed. I know that the police tend to give a reply to things like this to give the viewers more information, because we do not want to have the seed of discord in terms of there is a set of people marginalized. If it is indeed true that the rule of law or the Police Act is not being followed in the deployment of police commissioners, it should be addressed. And if it isn't true, let the right information come out. That's what people will be asking for. That's the story in short.
Okay, so moving on now to Vanguard. Uromi killing, CDS can PFN seek justice for victims. 118 die of Lassa fever in Q1 2025, says NCDC. Reps Committee recovers 21.4 billion naira from oil and gas firms. Nigerians to pay more to petrol amid domestic disputes and crude price hike. 2027 Wike's good works will give APC victory in FCT, says Tinubu. And then tragic, Nigerian boxer dies in Ghana during boxing bout. Okay, who has the story?
Okay, sir. Good.
Okay, I have the story of the Nigerian boxer who sadly passed away yesterday. They said the 40-year-old Nigerian boxer Segun Success Olariwaju died after collapsing during a boxing match in Ghana. They said that this happened March 29th. Was that yesterday?
Saturday.
Okay. They said while boxing in the fight, and he was even leading with points, he immediately stopped and then he immediately collapsed, and the referee stopped the match, quickly called for medical assistance, but that in spite of all that they tried, he was pronounced dead. They said it seemed that he had suffered a cardiac arrest. There's a video of him collapsing, that's been making the rounds on social media. They said this happened 15 seconds left to the third round of their scheduled 8-round bout. He's a respected figure in Nigerian boxing. He previously held both national and West African lightweight heavyweight titles. Wow. They said he was born in Lagos, had extensive boxing career, competing in 23 professional fights, securing 13 wins, with 12 coming by knockout. So this is really a sad event, a tragic event, and they've been getting lots of messages from the sporting community and the boxing community. He's just a young man. For me, I don't like boxing. I've never liked that sport, and I don't know how you, as a parent, you watch your child being pummeled every day. I don't like it, and I mean, this is really sad.
I love boxing actually. I actually do, but I would never let my child do it. But the NCDC, that's Nigeria Center for Disease Control, said that between January and March, Nigerians have recorded 3,465 suspected cases of Lassa fever across 91 local government areas in 33 states. The nation's Disease Control and Prevention Agency mentioned this by its head of corporate communication, Sani Dati. He said out of the above figure, 645 cases were confirmed, and sadly 118 lives were lost. Unfortunately, 20 healthcare workers have also been infected. 8 in Ondo, 4 in Bauchi, 1 in Edo, 2 in Taraba, 1 in Ebonyi, 2 in Gombe, 1 in Benue, and 1 in Ogun State. So I'm happy that NCDC is tracking these numbers, but the truth is that we have to do more to curb it. We need to see how we can prevent it from our individual homes. But I just hope that the company, that the government is able to tackle this as soon as possible.
I want to take a good story. Enugu State is doing a whole lot to support the maternal care, and they've been able to drop the number in their state. They said when they came into power, it was a 400% maternal mortality rate, and they've been able to drop it because they equipped 260 primary healthcare centers across every ward that operates 24 hours of the day with equipment and staff.
As simple as that.
That is amazing, and it should be celebrated. This kind of competition should happen across every other state, where every ward will have a functional hospital where their citizens can get good healthcare.
Okay, so the House Committee on Public Accounts, the House of Reps Public Accounts Committee has been doing amazing. They've been able to help us recover $14.2 million, which amounts to 21.4 billion naira from 4 oil and gas companies in their ongoing investigation into financial discrepancies in the oil and gas sector. And they are also giving out an ultimatum to 4 other companies to remit the total of $23.2 million, which is about 34.8 billion, which has not been recovered. This latest recovery is an addition to the 16th of March recovery of about 28.7 billion naira that they had already done, bringing the total amount about 50.1 billion anyways, and they're still looking to recover more. So well done to this House Committee. Press their neck.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. When we come back, we'll continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, you for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does show dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer,
you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No. Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
This is. That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person you see some spoils?
That woman.
Bam! Bam!
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey!
Let's catch up now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. Entertainment with Pure Entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Oh, wow. My typical day is filled with meetings, consultations, and of course, traffic. And that's all part of the hustle and bustle of city life. But the real fun starts when I can just settle down and catch up with all my favorite programs on TVC. Believe me, it's pure entertainment.
Thanks for staying with us. So last Friday, President Bola Tinubu condemned the gruesome murder of traveling hunters intercepted by local vigilantes in the Uromi community of Ishon, North Local Government of Edo State. The president, who expressed shock at the barbaric act in the release issued by his media advisor on information and strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, directed police and other security agencies to conduct swift and thorough investigations and punish the suspected culprits. In the same vein, Governor Monday Okwebulu of Edo State has also strongly condemned the brutal killings, while the Kano State government has dispatched a high-level delegation to Edo State to seek justice for the victims. Now, for those of you that don't have a clue what we're talking about, last week, 16 hunters were picked up by a driver on their way to the north, and while they were passing through Edo State, a certain number of vigilantes accosted them, asked them to come down, and they suspected that they were Boko Haram or kidnappers, and then they took justice into their own hands by killing those hunters. The driver, however, was spared because he was arrested, and he was able to recount and confirm to the police while the investigation that they were not kidnappers. These were hunters on their way back home for the holidays, for the Eid. And it was quite sad to see how things turned out, because they actually burnt them to death. Now, the Sultan has since spoken to keep calm, because obviously people have come out to respond in the north. Protests have come out. People have already started saying all sorts of things to incite and heat up the polity. But I think what the Sultan is trying to tell everybody to keep calm and just let the law take its course. However, the fact that this can happen, and the fact that Nigerians don't feel safe in their own country, just traveling home for the holidays in itself can lead to your death. You can join the conversation 021-635-2013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us your own thoughts on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts. Ladies, this was a really painful update to have on a day of celebration.
In
it's
the
quite
last 10
sad.
days. This happened on the 27th of March, the 27th day of Ramadan, and these innocent people were traveling to their villages without an established crime, just because weapons were found on them. They are hunters who usually will be in possession of some form of weapon, even a knife, a dagger, some things like that, and they were just accosted. No formal trial, self-help, mobbed, lynched to death, just like that. And as expected, of course, it cited provocation everywhere across the country, because nobody was expecting. It was a cool, calm morning. People were just, sleeping in their houses, and we woke up to this happening. But details were later coming out of how this happened. What I'm just about is that the government of Edo State needs to do much more than what they're doing right now. And beyond just compensating families is to find justice, to see that the same people who did this to their people are fully sentenced for the crimes that they carried out, because you are not a court, you are not a security agent, you did not do any form of trial, you declare people you found in possession of weapon criminals. So somebody can be in possession of a cutlass, and that's a weapon, but that's also a tool. It can be in possession of, that's a weapon, that's also a tool. I remember back then, some of us used to have, before pepper spray was introduced, it was this key knife, pocket knife my father gave us when rape was training, whatever, at least find something to help yourself. I used to press it until we just pop up the knife. I used to find it fun. So if you find that on me and you say I have a weapon, but I'm holding it to protect myself, without a formal trial, you would never know why somebody is in possession of a weapon. And so you decide before somebody will go and come back, you've already lynched them to that kind of powder. Is terrible, and is of course provoking.
Yeah.
So I saw this first on a particular northern blog I follow, and the comments were over 1,000. I was like, when did this happen? When did this happen in this calm country at this time? This is what some people choose to do.
Yeah. So, you know, definitely our hearts go out to the victims, their families, and really to Kano State, because they were indigents of Kano State and they were going home to Reno for the holidays. And so for me, this conversation is more about the jungle justice that took place. I feel that the vigilante meant well, in the sense that they were conscripted to take care of a particular area, and if they see or find something that they're uncomfortable with, they are meant to stop, question, and if possible arrest or call in the police to that point. Because as we know, these are in our country right now, there are just different incidents of kidnappers and all sorts of insurgents left, right and center, and the job of vigilantes in these different communities is to protect their area. So to be fair to them, if they saw something that they were uncomfortable with, you know, what they were meant to do was to stop them, ask the question, and if needed, get the police involved. And they did that to a certain extent where they took 2 of them, but they started beating them, and by the time they took them to the police station and everything was discussed, they had killed these innocent hunters. So the thing is, every time we talk about jungle justice, we talk about waiting for proper justice. This is what we're saying. We're talking about, we condemn it because innocent people can be caught in the middle of this. You know, here is a vigilante, probably at the time feeling that they have done something good for their community, but because you did not wait to ask the proper question, you did not follow the proper channel of investigation, you have killed 14 fathers, brothers, sons, for doing nothing but being proper and good citizens of the country. And you can understand the hurt and the anger coming from the northern parts of the country. In fact, some of the comments I heard when it first happened, because it was quite quiet, a lot of people say Nigerians don't care about the north. You know, northerners were killed and nobody's talking about it. Everybody's just moving ahead. If this were to happen in the south, everybody will hear about it. So I am happy that we're hearing statements from the emir, we're hearing from Edo State government, we're hearing from the federal government as well. It's important that this is kept right on the front burner. Yes, on the front burner, so Nigerians would see as proper investigation is carried out and proper justice is taken. And this is not just for lip service. This is important to make sure that we keep the country calm. Whether we like it or not, there are some people who are already making all sorts of agitations for what they call reprisals. You know, so you're going to find, unfortunately, you may find Southerners living in the north who innocent Nigerians there, and then somebody thinks that because of what has been done in the south, which happens all the time, it has happened many times, Southerners will be attacked. You know, a certain tribe will be accused of being the cause of what happened in Uromi, and then they want to carry it out. So it's important that the government make sure that this is from burner and dealt with immediately and you know, so that it does not escalate into a widespread I
mean, let me come to you, Tokwe, because this is quite painful for me. I mean, Mariam alluded to the fact that this is something that we don't want, obviously, to escalate, and it's important that, and she said something concerning the intention, because we've been here, and there are many communities that depend on these vigilantes. In fact, they trust the vigilantes almost more than the police, because they trust that once the vigilante catches you, you must have been somebody that committed a crime. So these people thought they were doing the right thing. Now, the right thing now is relative, because do you kill them? Do you arrest them? Do you detain them? Is there a modus operandi for these people, for the vigilantes officers, to how they carry out their own operations? These are some of the questions Nigerians are asking. Let me come to you, Toki. What are your thoughts on this?
It is failure of government and institution when we have to depend on vigilantes for security, and we need to say that out loud. I remember when I was growing up, we had a time when we were getting attacked. There were robbers going from block to block in the estate, Amuwodofi Estate Mile 2, and they told us, another community said, employ OPC. These people will protect you. Though we had a police station, we couldn't trust the institution, we couldn't trust the system. We employed OPC and made them man different areas to protect us. We must acknowledge that this is a failure of the system if we are resorting to vigilantes to protect ourselves. Because while the structured security apparatus would have trainings on how they should go about things, and when a few bad eggs carry out extrajudicial killings or stray bullets or things happen, there's a process. With the vigilantes, it's left to like, oh, the good intention of our local hunters to protect us. What is the structure on ground to ensure if you are arrested, if a vigilante is caught, if a vigilante catches a kidnapper, armed robber or something, what is the process? How are vigilantes going through trainings to help them know how to do their job and how to interact with the official security? There's a lot of gray area, and it's in that gray area that a good intention can say you feel the fact that somebody has cutlass and local gun to say this person with the language he's speaking must be a kidnapper. With last week they kidnapped people in this area, you are the people that did it, you are the ones, so yeah, confess. I was on my site about 2 weeks ago, and while I was inside the site, I was hearing gunshots. Of course, you'll be scared, you are inside bush. And they're like, no, let's go and check, what's going on? My site engineer was like, it's local farmers. But they were shooting, they said that they must have caught a bushmeat there. It's local farmers there, and we laughed about it, that maybe I should buy bushmeat because I had information about the fact that they are local farmers. If not, my assumption would be that they are kidnappers. Just because they had a gun and they were doing their business. When we don't let the system work, these kind of things would happen. The system is not working. Justice system is slow. Kidnappers get away with it. Innocent people get killed. And we don't see it work. So you now have people that are angry and are ready to do anything to protect themselves. In their head, if you take it to police station, they will release them. So they feel like there will be no justice. But if we have the system work, that's why I must celebrate the governor of the state for what they've done so far. The leaders within, at least the leader within Kano and within Edo, they have made the right move. We would like the president to speak on this. Yes, at least in a way that says that everybody will know that, okay, everything we are doing right now, we feel your pain, we understand what is going on, and justice must be fast. Not a case of, we don't want a 1 month period. Maybe a special court, maybe a expedited process. The arrest has taken place, let it be sentenced to court. So for me, family members can have peace of mind to say that, okay, our son died, our husband died, but something was done. They've been sentenced to life imprisonment, something has happened. And going forward, let's now create a structure, like the way we have a Motekun. Let's create a structure where there is formal, well-known process with which we can protect ourselves, even when we are using the vigilante system.
So I agree with you 100%. I mean, so the president also has spoken through Bayo Onanuga. So all the parties who should speak have spoken, which is a great thing. But it's not about speaking, it's about
the first step.
What's the next step? How do you ensure it doesn't happen again? What do we do to prevent? Which is what you just said, that we need to create a framework for all these various security groups. Is it Amotekun? Is it ESN? Is it Vigilante? There's got to be some kind of structure around it, because, as you said, the intention might have been, we finally made it. For them, they are happy that they did the right thing in catching and apprehending these guys. But the point of killing should not be anybody's discretionary.
Yes. And the way they disagree about whether their intentions were good. So in those days, we had the local vigilantes. When they apprehend someone, there's a king in Uromi now. It is a known village decision. You drag the criminals that you suspect, you drag them to the village center, the village king would know, the village people and other elders would know. But you drag them to the bush and you took your decision one time at all. Let me tell you what I think. Because when they apprehended them, there was somebody able to explain to them who was willing to follow the police. They decided on their own, which is why their intention is bad, that before when I go come back, we go level them. You know, that's why these people were, if it's not that we don't do an eye for an eye kind of justice system here, it should be the same level of punishment that should be given to them, because whatever good intention you have, you'll be able to wait, you'll be willing to wait it through. If they had the power to overpower these people enough to lynch them, it means that they had the power to hold them down for police to come. They decided and said the police will they come, they go release them.
Well, is it
say make we
possible
burn
that
them?
these guys have been through something similar in the past?
No, let's leave what we see. We are Nigerians, and we must not pretend that we don't know that our people go and come to work and eat. When I was a child, there was a man who used to come to my place, and my dad would leave his clothes, old clothes. I don't understand. No one or Chishawa journey, you know.
Because I understand the English version.
I interpret.
I was talking that Yoruba to English because
you get used to my vocabulary already. I'm interpreting. You know, my dad would give him his old clothes. This man. There was a time he would go up north. It was farming during farming season. He only goes and comes when. Then he goes again for harvest season. He comes here and works and does other things. So you know, people who travel go and come. They know, even in that Edo, you have people that will come. They will travel from north, sometimes by bus, sometimes by foot, farm and go back. They will help to work. So there's nothing new about you finding people in a bus that you decide, for weapon reason.
Let me go on
you have to have evil intention to decide to
we'll talk about that intention.
How do you even sit and watch them burn?
Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
said she does show dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No. Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I will not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person that used to sus? What is his name?
That woman.
Bam! Bam!
Yeah, today we'll go here.
Hey!
Let's catch up now.
Thanks for staying with us. So the live coverage and transmission on Hawan Bariki Dubar celebration in Dubar celebration. The venue at the Old Government House Katsina is happening right now. So TVC News will be linking up to that event, while those of us on TVC Entertainment would continue on the GOTV and StarTimes channels. And also for those of you watching us online, you can continue and watch us on YouTube, and we'll be happy to have you there. Okay, so Mariam, you were saying...
Yes, I was going to respond to Tokwe when she said there has to be a system of, you know, process or of handling things, you know. And I was going to say that I believe there already is, because they knew to take at least a couple of them to the police station. And it was them just being overly, I don't know, you know, Nima believes that they deliberately did it. Yes. And not to stoke the fire of these differences. The truth is, if you see a group of people from the north with weapons traveling or just walking around in Nigeria right now, there is a bias and a fear of who they truly may be or what they represent, what they stand for. And because, and that fear is there. And whether we like it or not, whether we would want to say it or not, that fear is there, and it's based on things that have happened and are continually happening across the country. And this is not to say that what happened was justified, just that what was justified is to stop them and ask questions, and also to get the police involved to do a proper investigation. So that one is justified. The killing, definitely not justified. But there are killings going on across, especially in the Middle Belt. In Benue State, they are constantly complaining of people coming into their farms, going to their villages. In Plateau State, how many will we say? People are sitting down in their homes, and next thing you hear, a group of people who look a certain way are carrying weapons. I'm not justifying, because I know that this will anger some people that I'm saying this, but I'm not justifying the killing, but I'm saying that there's a real threat in our country right now. And so there's a certain group of people that would be what's the word I'm looking for? They just, those group of people, they'll be seen a certain way until further investigation happens. So what I was going to say is that for the hunters, it's important that hunters are licensed and registered, and that the vigilante or whoever the community policing structure in that group also understands how to check for licensed hunters or registered hunters. You cannot be a hunter and you don't have your license for the kind of weapons that you're carrying. You have to be able to show that. You have to be able to be registered somewhere. The vigilantes across the different communities, who are usually made up of different people from the community, not always quite educated, so may not even know the question. So these vigilantes have to be trained on the sort of questions to ask and how to arrest and maybe keep someone, because the driver that was arrested says he was a handcuff was placed on him. So they even have those sort of things to use. They handcuffed him. So if you have all those, then you do not need to carry out that jungle justice. But these are the different steps that need to be put in place. Vigilante need to be educated and enlightened enough on the sort of questioning that needs to go on. They need to understand that the police has to be involved, and proper justice has to be carried out in cases where we have jungle justice to stop others from doing it. And really, I don't even know what can be done to compensate the families of these
It's quite painful indeed, and I just really hope that in fact justice is indeed served in this case. We have to wrap up on this, but in a nutshell, as we said, we've all agreed that there has to be proper training for the vigilantes and also for the police, and it should be very visible, and also that even the hunters should also have some kind of license so that they are easily recognizable. It's really sad. I mean, there's no way you can say this is indeed was a sad, horrific story that shouldn't have happened. Our hearts go out to the family, and we pray indeed that justice is served. Let's go on a very short break. It's still excuse me. It's still Eid al-Fitr, and we have our Imam who's going to be coming also share with us the lessons from this season. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
result. Let me go and look for my jam result. So
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
Is that your trouser going? Hey! Hey! Hagulalumo!
Yes, please.
LGBTQ. Oh my God.
Thanks for staying with us. So happy Eid al-Fitr to all our Muslim viewers once again. We pray that the blessings of the festivity continue to radiate all over your life. So join us in the studio to speak on the imperative of sustaining the lifestyle of Ramadan is the immediate past president of the Companion, which is the Association of Muslim Men in Business and in Professions in Lagos District. We have with us Sheikh Abdul Ghani Abdul Majid. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, sir.
Good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
So,
Okay, go ahead.
we hear all this almost every year. We ask the same question. This lifestyle of Ramadan is being sustained post-Ramadan. Tell us about it. What does that even mean?
Well, what people normally talk about lifestyle being maintained is that you see that generally, you see that an atmosphere of peace around. That everything is peaceful. 2, people become more spiritual. 3, the level of charity increases. So those are the things that people put together and say there is a lifestyle around Ramadan. I know someone that feeds 3,000 people every day in Ogun State. He does the same thing in Lagos. And there are so many people. And even in Ramadan, people strive to achieve our top pillar in Islam, which is zakat, which is alms given to the poor, to assist them, to make sure that people are on the same level, because zakat is a leveler. So when people talk about lifestyle in Ramadan, spirituality, charity, and leveler.
So I saw a funny picture of a juice giving handshake to alcohol, saying that I'll take it up from here, because many Muslims when fasting would not drink alcohol, and then the handshake is I've taken over. I will continue till we'll see again next year. And it was just very funny. Why do you think people struggle with being able to sustain the habits of Ramadan after Ramadan?
The problem is that when your level of faith, when what you do is about people, not about God.
Yep.
If what you do is out of your belief, from your heart, then you will not go back. But if it is that I'm pleasing someone, I don't want anybody to see me that I'm not fasting, despite the fact that I bear a Muslim name, then the person will go back. The other thing is that the person that goes back, you look at his lifestyle before. It's not only in Ramadan that you are not supposed to take alcohol in Islam.
Sure.
It's one of the big sins in Islam. Any sin that is mentioned in the Quran is it's a big sin. If we are in an Islamic state, that person will be flogged. We have a case, and what people don't know is that we are all human. Even people that were living with the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we have people that were taking alcohol then. One instance, there's a guy that anytime he takes it, he gets flogged. Then one person now abused him and said, are you not ashamed of yourself? And the Prophet now said, shut up. In the heart of this person that you are saying, the love of Allah and His Apostle reigns supreme. And from that episode, that guy stopped taking alcohol. And what I want to bring out here is that the guy had faith in his heart.
Struggled with his
and was struggling with it. So the people that goes back, they don't have anything. They are just, we are Muslim, we bear by name. Every religion have their code. Every religion has boundary, which you cannot cross. So if you are a Muslim and you are regularly crossing those boundaries, and those are the people that immediately Ramadan finish, what you see them celebrating is alcohol, what is celebrated is cigarettes. People will be surprised that I'm mentioning cigarettes. As a Muslim, you are not supposed to take it. Anything that will injure your health as a Muslim is forbidden in Islam. So those people that goes back are people that the level of faith is low. And in Islam, faith is not stagnant. You continue to struggle to build it up. Once you don't, it comes down. It doesn't stay in one place. And that's why we tell, nobody can tell anybody that I'm at this level with Allah. No. It's only Allah that knows, out of us seated here, who is the most beloved.
Okay.
So in Ramadan, some of the acts of ibadah are so amplified. You see people fast more, we're fasting anyway, read the Quran more, tahajjud is increased, and prayers, a lot of reflections and all of that.
Thanksgiving.
But once, even me, that I'm sitting here, once Ramadan is finishing, now it's like you're taking a break. You know, you're slowing down. And there's a series I watched, they say finish strong. Finish strong, meaning is that you're supposed to continue at least, if you're doing 30%, you're supposed to continue at least 10% after Ramadan in any of those acts of ibadah. So I wanted to talk about, you know, those, you know, how to finish, should we be taking a break and go back to how we're coming in our acts of ibadah and not, you know, to any excesses that we, any vices that we're doing, but to how to continue those acts to help us as Muslims.
Ramadan is like when you have staffs, especially in a corporation, and you want increase in the level of performance. So you take them out for a training. Ramadan is a training ground for us Muslims. That you are expected that when you come out of that training school, that 1 month training school, you are supposed to be better off. But if you are not better off, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, some people fast, but the only thing they gain is hunger. Yes, because they do not fast with their hearts. They don't fast according to the rule. They just want to fast for people to see them. And those are the people that struggle. Like I said, faith, iman in Islam is not static. I was discussing with some youths. I said, do as much as possible now. Because when you grow older, age will catch up with you. You won't be as strong as you used to be. And the explanation I gave to them was that make sure you do your Mondays, Thursday, our fasting, voluntary fasting. Make sure you do your Ayamu bid, that's 13, 14, 15 of our lunar months. Make sure you do your Askar in the morning and the evening.
The 6 days of shower.
Make sure you do the 6 days of shower. Make sure you wake up for your tahajjud. Because if you do 8 of tahajjud before, which is our night prayer, when you grow older, you start to struggle to do 4. But if you don't do it before, if you are not the person, if you do 2 now, the tendency is that you will not do anything. And that is why people tend to struggle after Ramadan, because there is an hadith of Prophet ﷺ. Prophet ﷺ said, your goodies are rewarded either in 10-fold or in 7,000-fold. But Allah says, Ramadan is for me. I'll be the one to reward it. So there is an atmosphere of doing good that Allah creates for all of us and make those things easy for us to do in Ramadan. So what Allah wants us to do is carry those things further. And the only way you know that all your act of worship, all your charity, everything that you do in Ramadan is acceptable to Allah is that you are able to continue. Once you are not able to continue, is a sign that those acts may not be acceptable to Allah. So Muslims, what you should do, you will struggle. Yes, you must struggle. The same way you struggle to make money. You are in 1,000 today, you want to go to million, you want to go to billion. Those are things people don't know, even with religion, that there are grades. Your level of struggle will put you where you are supposed to be. So everybody does struggle. There is nobody that will not struggle.
Okay. So I would like you to speak to the non-Muslim community in the time of Ramadan. Like, in what way, well, it's over, but maybe just for the future, in what way can the non-Muslim community support their Muslim brethren during the period of Ramadan, and also when they finally are celebrating the Eid? What are the things you would like to see, especially in relationship and community with the Muslims and the non-Muslims?
Islam comes to preach peace. Islam comes to preach harmony. It says, the saying of the Prophet said that the Jibril, that is the angel that brought the Quran to him, that taught him the Quran, said, he kept on telling me about my neighbor. So much so that I think he would tell me that they have a share of my inheritance. Because neighborliness in Islam, 40 houses to your front, to your back, right and left. Yes. And that's about 240 or so, or 160. Wow. If my calculation is right.
That's 160. 40 times 160.
40, 40, 40. That's 160.
Yeah.
So if I'm a Muslim living with people that are not Muslim, and I take them as my neighbor, the same way the Prophet wants me to take them as my neighbor, how are we not going to live in harmony? And he says, and another hadith, I said, if I go with my belly filled and my neighbors, their bellies are all empty, I'm not a Muslim. So we should just take away the gap and know that, first of all, we are all creatures of God.
Yeah.
And all that God wants on the heart is peace. So if you are a Christian, if you are a Jew, if you do not believe in any of this and you believe in other things, just know that there must be harmony. Harmony is what God wants us to.
I'm interested in this, your men's association. Let me ask, why do you think there's a need for Muslim men to come to professional Muslim men? What was the objective of this association?
Our objective centrally is that all of us, majority of us that we are in this organization, we call ourselves an alumni of Muslim Student Society of Nigeria.
Okay.
So it's after we graduated, our seniors, because the organization has been in existence before I joined them. So after we graduated, further, where is the platform for us to relate with each other? And what we know in Islam, Islam is a communal religion. You cannot practice Islam in isolation. So we now said, okay, the same commonality that we enjoy in our universities, we must continue to enjoy it. And our focus is simple. We do dawah, which is preaching. We do social services. We do political intervention. Anytime there was a time that when we felt that Bagada Hospital needed some equipment, we supplied it to them. And we do so many things. All we do is that we preach Islam, and we want peace to reign in Nigeria.
I have to let you go, but there's a question that's in my head. I don't know.
I wanted to even ask a question. I just wanted you to address it. This intolerance that fasting people have about, people not fasting around them. It's been extended to, the exempted in Ramadan, in fasting. We see the conversation when we're on this table. When we fast as an expression of Ramadan, we might not have our mugs in front of us. But because we see the intolerance, I decided that when I'm fasting, I don't have my mug. When I am not fasting, when my exempted days come, I will have my mug. Because a Muslim is supposed to concern themselves with what concerns them. Is that not what the Rasul
focus on your focus.
Focus on your focus. As opposed to say, no, because we respect the people fasting as if other people have to be. You are the one in Ibadah. They are not in Ibadah. My colleagues can have their food. And I need you to use that to talk about, to address that intolerance we see every year Ramadan comes as if it's right.
Allah says in the Quran, La ikraha fi din. There is no compulsion in religion. You are not to make what you believe in to be compulsory for any other person. We know Nigeria is not an Islamic state. So it's a multi-religious state. So it's live and let live. If you are fasting, you are not going to make it compulsory for other people. So if for instance, where I live, the person opposite me is a Christian. So I would now say because I'm fasting, they must not eat in the house or they must not bring food out. No, Islam never taught us that. What Islam taught us is that you take your religion, you know that you believe in it, while you relate properly, positively with your neighbor. And that's another example from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, I think from Ali this time around. One day, he's the Prophet. Someone came around, a non-Muslim. He was shouting, give me back my money. And Prophet and Umar said, Umar was about to deal with that person. Sit down. Why did you tell the person that is owing to pay before you deal with the person that is asking for his money? So how is this? Because that person in question is not a Muslim, but the Prophet ensure that the person gets his rights and dues. And so anybody that is a Muslim that is making life difficult for other people, I'm sorry, is not practicing our deen. And that's why Oba is unanimous among the scholars that the Boko Haram people, they are not Muslims. They are not Muslim. Your religion, that's why I say, like Rafidin, no compulsion. You must not make what you believe in to be. You can preach. Even the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was there. Your duty is to tell them. For them to believe is me. So if the Prophet that brought this religion to us, Allah told him, don't compel people. Who are we?
I think we'll have to wrap it up there. Thank you very much, sir. It was a pleasure having you. I think we learned quite a bit from you. I'm wishing you the best and happy Eid al-Fitr to the entire Muslim community here in Nigeria. Let's go on a very short break now. When we come back, we continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Hello, TVC Communications. How can I help?
What makes TVC the right choice for my business?
Excellent question, sir. Let me share some exciting facts with you.
Start your day on TVC Entertainment with Wake Up Nigeria, a family and lifestyle show. Your View empowers women globally.
It's your view, let it count.
Entertainment Splash delivers the hottest celebrity trends. On TVC News, we keep you informed with breaking news and in-depth analysis of events shaping the world.
I will continue to speak the truth.
TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. delivers the most important stories of the day. Max FM, your hit music radio station, captivates listeners daily across Lagos and Abuja, making every commute more enjoyable. Adaba 88.9 FM is not left out, as it is the voice of Southwest. And on TVC Digital, we reach to million viewers daily. All together, pulls in over 17 million viewers daily. Contact us on 0707 272 8338 or marketing at tvccommunications.tv. Partner with TVC Communications today. Let's grow together.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia, January 15, 1929. The son of a Baptist minister, King received a doctorate degree in theology and in 1955 helped organize the first major protest of the African American civil rights movement, the successful Montgomery bus boycott. King participated in and led marches for the right to vote, desegregation, labor rights, and other civil rights. He advocated civil disobedience and nonviolent opposition against segregation in the South, influenced by Mahatma Gandhi. The peaceful protests he led throughout the American South were often met with violence. Nonetheless, Dr. King and his supporters were persistent and the movement gained momentum. Dr. King was a powerful orator. He appealed to Christian and American ideals and won growing support from the federal government and Northern White. In 1963, Bayard Rustin and A. Philip Randolph led the massive march on Washington for jobs and freedom. The event's grand finale was King's famous I Have a Dream speech. 250,000 people gathered outside the Lincoln Memorial to hear the stirring speech. In 1964, the civil rights movement achieved two of its greatest successes: the ratification of the 24th Amendment, which abolished the poll tax, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibited racial discrimination in employment and education and outlawed racial segregation in public facilities. In the same year, King became the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize. In the late 1960s, King openly criticized U.S. involvement in Vietnam and turned his efforts to winning economic rights for poor Americans. He was a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement and organized a number of peaceful protests as head of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, including the March on Washington in 1963. He was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee on April 4th, 1968.
Thanks for staying with us. So as we conclude the International Women's Month today, today is the day we are ending the celebration, a whole month celebration. We have with us none other than Madam Grace Ofure, who is an economist, businesswoman, real estate expert, and a philanthropist. She will be discussing women and their money with us today, because after all the talk this month, somebody must seal it for us. Say, how do we now translate it to raw cash? Join the conversation. You can call us on 021-635-2013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts. So, welcome to the show. Good to have you back.
Thank you so much. It's always a delight to be here. I'm so excited.
First time in our new studio.
Yes, sir. In the studio, money is good. Looking absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much. So we said that we wanted you to wrap it up, because there's a lot of conferences, seminars, conversations about all the things women can do to empower themselves, how to start a business, how to hold a business. But at the end of the day, we want to know, how do we keep that money? How can all these lessons convert to cash? How do we really make real money? So that's really why we wanted you to help us seal it up in this International Women's Month.
So first of all, I just want to say to all women out there, thank you so much. And everyone that celebrated us, me too, I'm celebrating you, Brian, these beautiful women. We are so grateful for so much that we have learned in this period. But the truth is, there is no impact without money. And there is no true impact when you are not able to, first of all, influence your environment, starting from you. You know, a lot of conversation has gone ahead. We have learned a lot, but the truth is, it's what we do with these informations that really matter. Women are very quick to hear things and they're excited and they just begin to run. But we have to look at what are the steps we need to take, especially when it comes to wealth creation, sustainability, and transfer. For me, a lot of women think that when you talk about wealth, you talk about money, it's for men. So it's just, thank God, but right now I can see a big change, because you can see many women are opening up their minds to listen, to be educated, to take steps. But I think that one of the most important things for us to do is being accountable. Because for you to make a very good financial decisions planning, you need somebody to be accountable to. And not necessarily must be your friend, must be your colleague. I think you need an expert. You know, everybody has what they are gifted for. Like I tell people that for me, wealth creation is a gift because I see money in everything, you know. But then I had to go and refine it, you know, because you might understand that you can just produce money from anything, but how do you become an expert? So I had to go for education, understand how to +1 +2 to +3. Then the benefits of being gifted is the opportunities. But you can also...
Let me cut you in, because I want this conversation to be very, very fruitful, and I'll come to the ladies in a moment. So we've heard real estate, buy land. And some of us say, okay, we will buy the land. You've not bought the land, you've kept the land. Some people are thinking, okay, how does that convert to money? Like, so okay, you bought the land now. Is it that I'll wait 20 years to sell it to get the money back? Or because the person that we've sold the land to you will now call you maybe 1 year later and say, hey, we want to develop it. We make another 5 million to develop it. And you're wondering, I paid 5 million, I thought I would go to, you know. So they keep saying real estate, but you're thinking to yourself, how does that convert to money? How is that my wealth?
So when I say you need to work with an expert, there's a time to buy land. That means you are stocking lands for capital appreciation.
Okay.
Not necessarily that you want to build a land. There's a time to sell it and take it to the next level of buying houses. So you have to have a journey. Like I have what I call the wealth number. So I'll use myself as an example. So that I can be practical. So let's assume that my expenditure is 2 billion naira yearly. That means for me to be able to live financially free, spending 2 billion, I have to have 20 million naira assets or 20 billion naira assets, because I'm trying to use dollars. So let's use naira. So I have to have 20 billion naira assets. So that's my benchmark. Maybe 1 billion for charity, another 1 billion for other things. Yeah. So for me to do that, when you are working with a plan, that is my wealth number, and that is where I want to retire, and that is what I want to leave for the kids. So I have to start to say, I need capital appreciation and I need cash flow. Where we all miss it is there is time for cash flow and there is time for capital appreciation, and there is time to build and it's time to leak. So you must understand that when you are buying lands, it might be for land backing, for capital appreciation. Then you must not know when to stop and begin to do asset accumulation. So you exit and start buying houses for cash flow, because the land can't give you that cash flow of my 2 billion. So I must move from land, then I enter into capital projects, then I now begin to think of where will I do that? Because if I do it in Nigeria, what's my cash flow? Can it mitigate my expenses? Then I start to say, okay, I can't buy land outside Nigeria. Then I must now begin to think of where is the market I can buy without tax. So you need the plan. So then there's a time to buy the land. The land is very important if you're a beginner, because you can't begin to build when you don't have money. But if you don't also buy the land, you don't have anything. But you should also know when to move from buying land to start buying houses. Then when you start buying, so that's why I say you need an expert. So sometimes people just say, come and buy land, come and buy land, come and buy land. No, if I'm working with you, I have to look at your plan and say, what is your wealth number? That's the first thing. So we have what's your wealth number? And how long do you want to do this wealth number? So as a woman, maybe I gave myself like 10 years. So when everybody's flying private jet or flying, I'm not interested because I'm building my wealth. So then my cash flow begins to take care of my luxury life. That's when they all miss it. There's time to begin to build. There's time to move from the land, and you are now stocking houses, both local and internationally, because you have a number. So you start from, even if you cannot eat, what is the number?
Gotcha. I like that.
So I watched a video of a lady. She has a ministry. She's a speaker, Teresa Savofoy. I follow her on social media, and she was saying part of her achievements for last year was that they were able to pay off their house. And in that video, she spoke about the fact that, one of our land she's in America. She lives in Fort Worth, Texas. She was like, one of our land appreciated, the value appreciated so much, so we sold the land and then we used it to pay off our house. And it just dawned on me what I've heard you say a lot of times, that there are reasons you have land and there are reasons you have houses, and the ability to use one to support the other at the right time on that journey. But you know, when Mariah was introducing you, she said, we want the cash. So everybody watching right now, we want to understand the cash. We want that liquidity. Where are women missing it when it comes to the money game that is not letting us have cash? Yes, have that cash flow.
Yeah, I said there as a woman or as an individual, there's what I call the delayed gratification. You can't eat it and have it. And you can't leave it and don't live. People are living now and they're actually cops because they won't live in future. No, Mariah, there's so much we can do now. There's so much I can't do when I'm 50. So I am looking at my 50s and forgetting the 40s. So you cannot be thinking of cash flow now when you don't have anything. So you must begin to have streams of income and know that you should save for the future and reduce your expenditure. And the reason people don't have money is because they don't have a lot of income. So why don't you worry about having more income?
How do I increase income?
How do I increase income? But there are some things you can't do now if you want to have a good future. Mariah, that is the truth. You can't leak and build at the same time. There must be 20 years, 10 years, depends on how your income is. That's why you need a planner. And the number is important. If really it's 2 billion I want to spend every year when I'm 50, what do I have now? What do I need to do now? Because then when you talk about freedom, is I don't want to do nothing. I just want what I have done to produce the money. So if I wake up, it's because I feel like. If I talk, it's because I feel like. If I want to greet, it's because I feel like. So there, I want to get to that stage, and I'm on it. That is very intentional. In 4 years, I don't want to do nothing. I just want to wake up and I see my alerts. I see money coming in. But I sacrificed 20 years of my life building that
towards getting to that
point.
point.
So now, if you see me anywhere, my investment is paid, whatever. The ticket I went to Doha, Dubai, my investment paid. You know, so I couldn't have done that 10 years ago.
Let Mariam and Nima talk. I went somewhere, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? And, Father in heaven, all the women that I was hanging, I went to hang out with them a bit, and they all said the same thing, that it was their investment that paid. And I'm thinking to myself, me did I put out of pocket? Like, I feel like the fool, like you paid out of pocket.
No, but
everybody, I'm learning.
Places where you can learn.
So I'm learning that all of them said it was they wanted to asking me about.
But that was an investment.
Exactly.
But that was an investment. The only thing I have issues with is going to places like that and not being intentional. So it's a different case. You went there.
Don't go for the pictures.
You see it. I didn't even take any pictures.
You see?
And when they were taking pictures, I was making money. I made a lot of money.
Are you serious?
Yes, so
yeah.
She was not even in the conference.
I went for a different purpose. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to know why you are going to anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a workplace. I see the conference like a workplace. So any woman that is planning to go to a conference today, you will only not be excited coming back and spending your money without value. So you have to plan it before you go.
Okay, ladies.
Should I say?
You know, I've been having this reflection because I lost a friend last year when I mentioned, and she was very deliberate. Circumstances are different, and I want you to address people in a certain space in life. A lot of times I had to bail her out, not because she was lazy, no, not because of that. Very hardworking, very committed single mother, because her husband had just walked out, just wakago, you know? And so she had to raise four kids on her own. But she walked, this woman walked and just never waited to...
Wasn't able to enjoy it.
Not ever.
How sad.
You know, so when we talk about this, give yourself a plan thing. I have seen it. I've seen, at least, she's not the only one I've seen, who they were deliberately living. They were, they were looking towards retirement. They were looking to a point of, harvesting. And what happens? How do you address you know,
death.
okay.
No,
What she's trying to say is that if you are planning and you are working and you are not enjoying part of the money, what if you don't get there to?
Gotcha.
No,
What
I'm saying is there are some basic things you must live your life before you get to that. I'm only saying work now, live your life. Remember that there's a time you will not work, you don't have the capacity to work like that again. Plan for that time. You might enjoy more that time. I'm not saying don't enjoy. For the past 10 years, I've been coming to this show. I don't look like, do you understand what I'm saying? But I'm saying there was so much I could have done that I deliberately did not do because I'm planning for today. But I'm not saying that don't take care of your health, don't live well, don't do the basic. I'm only saying don't spend money that you have not invested on what is not an investment. Anything I cannot afford 5 times that is not an investment, I don't buy it.
Beautiful.
Principle.
Yeah.
So that's not drug now. I'm only saying don't go and buy human hair when you don't have a land. Don't go and buy buy business class tickets when you don't have a house. And you are buying like 3, so it's 9 million times 3. You are close to only 1 bedroom apartment. You could have still gone to that place with an economy. So I'm saying that in life there are 2 things you can do in any situation. So don't go and do her clothing in that fashion designer when somebody can do it very well at the backyard and still look good. But you just want to tag it and say, now you want to shout. Now you do adverts for people. No. You have to click it and let. No, you are the one that will not be giving what you're wearing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So because a time is coming for that. I'm not saying naked. I'm only saying that if you plan it, go and buy the one that is just there and iron it.
I'll come to you. I'll come to you because that thing you just said, I did it, and I want to tell you how I did. So you're proud of me. I have a friend that went for her, I think, a family member's funeral, and I love her outfit. And her outfit, she told me it cost about $500,000. That lovely outfit.
Oh my God.
$500,000. I said, hey, to buy. My friend said it cost her $500,000 to get her outfit. I just said, please just send me the picture. I sent it to your friends, and that's what I wore for my brother's wedding. Exactly. I copied it.
Your tailor has heard how much to bill you. No, we're just joking.
But I paid for half of like a very like small fraction of that. So just same thing I did. I didn't go and buy it from that friend. I went to find my own tailor.
So you can actually have anything you want. Just use wisdom.
Do it with your own level. Your own level.
People admire you for it. You are in your community. So I'm just.
Look good. If I tell you how much this cloth is, you'll be surprised. It's beautiful.
So I love the practical wisdom that you're talking about, because for some people, you know, especially when you go to these meetings, the flowery English words, we hear it, but we want to know, okay, now I am 30 years old and I have 10 million. What do you advise I do in 2 years to build, to save, to invest? Or I am 40 years old, I'm 45, and I never really paid attention to building wealth, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm hearing, yes. Is it too late? Or I just found myself, I'm a grandmother, I've always worked for government, but I've just received my pension. It's quite a large amount of money. What do I do? So sometimes, it's not like we don't hear these things, but we're looking like practical steps that you can advise someone to do in 2 years, in 5 years.
You join yourself to a community. Like I have communities, because one of the things that make you do things is when you are inspired. I got a message this Monday day. I got a lot of gifts, even ministers of the gospel. Like, you inspire a lot. You inspired us to do this. You inspired us to do this. You inspired, because there's nothing you cannot do. You need an inspiration. So now that you have a 10 million naira, if you don't have the right inspiration, the money will go tomorrow morning into wrong things. So join yourself to a community of serious-minded people that you can see that their life has produced this kind of result. You know, a lot of people are talkers. Yes, when it comes to wealth creation, if you join yourself to a community of someone that's actually built wealth, and you can pinpoint the person who say, I did this, I did this, I did this. I can tell you, I sold Okrika, I made 10 naira, I bought land, I did not buy a loan, I bought with people. After I bought with people, I started to buy a loan. Then I now started to buy acres. Then I sold the acres. I moved to this, and now I'm in Dubai. So I will tell you stage by stage by stage on how I moved my wealth journey. So you need that kind of person. So if you have 10 million, I would advise, There are two ways. It's either you join people and buy so you have more discount, but you have to start to buy. That's number one. Number two, you need to have more source of income. You cannot be having 10 million at 40 and think you'll be financially free. Even if you put it in a compounding interest, by 10 years time, your 10 million will be useless with the 40 inflation. So what you should do now is to learn wealth creation. Yes, because now you're already there. So you need somebody to say, okay, come and teach me how to create wealth.
That's it.
That's it. Let's not deceive ourselves. You know, so people will say, don't worry, when you bring 10 million, you put in compounding interest, every year they'll give you 20%.
Yes.
That will not make you rich. What will make you rich is how much income comes to you that you are keeping. So it means that if you are still young, how do I create more money as a woman? And everybody is gifted. In the day and time of technology, let me tell you something. I do real estate, but there's something I started doing recently by selling what I used to produce results. And I make 6 figures every week.
Wow.
So it doesn't really matter. If I look at Morayona every day, I tell her, I say, you are money moving. You are money moving everywhere. It's how to package this money moving and use it for a solution. What is success? Reach out for a need. And meet the need.
Yes.
So when I started doing my 10% challenge, the young girl sent me a testimony that after I taught her, she started to now teach people how to do foundation very well. And her first a classroom she had over 40 people. And she made 4 million naira.
Wow.
She could have made that 4 million naira before she met me. So everybody is gifted to be wealthy. It's what you do with the gift. Somebody must identify it. Somebody must refine it. And somebody
There's another question I have to ask you, Madam Grace, because a lot of women who are making money, but they're having challenges at home. Because now you're making more money than your spouse. You know, they're saying, I have to slow down. I can't share. I know they're hiding. Like the story of someone they bought property and they're hiding it from spouse. You know, because there's a lot of focus on women do this. But how do you handle the home front where your husband also agrees? Because many women are buying property without their husband's knowledge, and the husband are not finding it funny.
But let me tell you something.
Is the husband also creating wealth?
No, that's going to be a blunder.
If he's not creating wealth.
If you don't manage it well, I'm telling you the truth. I don't. Let me tell you the truth. If women are very, very emotional, if they love somebody and they hide those kind of things, and it finally happens, the man will not be excited about the woman. Forget it. It's going to cause a big problem. So first of all, before you do it, be ready that when it happens, you have the shock observer to hold yourself because it will happen. But better still, there are wisdoms to go about this. Yeah, some people just hide it, you know. But there is also a way to make it look like. Me, I can be strategic about it. And the strategy is, whether you are bringing 10 naira and I'm bringing 19 naira. Yeah? So it becomes family, becomes children, it becomes our. Then we are all okay. It's all about strategy. And it's all about wisdom. The most important thing is that it helps you. Let me tell you, so most times, men that are like that, they are gifted with women that are like this. So the men needs to understand that that is the gift that God gave them. That is the truth. I have never seen a powerful woman that has a powerful husband. No. God is not a mad person. He's always trying to blend it together. Men should get up and see that she is blessed because of me. Take ownership. And you'll be fine. Do you understand?
That is very controversial what you just said.
No, she's
majority fall in the category.
No,
it's interesting.
If the man see it like that, that you are blessed because God loves me, it becomes a different thing from your mindset. It's a mindset thing.
So it's to
you
the
are
men.
like this.
And to the men, for the men, it's easier for them to accept when they're the.
No, you don't understand. They will also accept if they know that the blessing of the woman is for him.
So you don't necessarily need to hide it because it is for the family.
It's for him. That means if you are not married to me, you will not be blessed. Men, see like that.
This conversation has to end. We don't finish.
It's okay.
The show has finished. We have to bring it back, honestly, because this is our truth. I mean, I'm so happy we let you seal up this month because it was really important. You gave us some really strong gems, and I think that Nigerians really benefit from this. The most important thing is that Yes, we've heard all these stories, all these reports, but the most important thing is how to convert and translate it to cash. And you've told us about real estate, how to start converting from land to property, so buying, investing, and diversify your investments. So these are things that lots of women are learning from. We thank you so much, Ma, for coming on the show. Hope you can come back again.
Yes, so
give
we'll
us
bring
some
you
more
back.
free,
I'm gonna drag you back.
Free advice. We've been speaking with Madam Grace Ofre, who is an economist, businesswoman, and real estate expert. That's all we can take on the show. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. And once again, happy Eid al-Fitr to our Muslim brothers and sisters.
Eid Mubarak. Eid Fitr is the one we eat in gram.
No, it's this one.
They wrote Eid al-Fitr on my script. Eid al-Fitr not cause script.
Happy to
Oh, okay. Eid Fitr.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. God bless.
This conversation.